Support for Radio Friends comes from La Brunerie Financial, where they work to ensure a lifetime of financial security for people from all walks of life, from investment services to retirement plans. If you're looking for a trustworthy company that has the experience and knowledge to put your interests first, contact La Brunerie Financial, a community-based investment counseling firm since 1966. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on this Monday, July the 6th. I hope you had a good 4th of July weekend, and we're glad to be back with you today. And I've got somebody in the studio with me today, and he's on the other side of the studio as we continue our social distancing, JOE Dillard. Now, Joe is one outstanding character. Can I call you a character, Joe?
Oh, yes.
All right. Joe was on here.
Nicer than most.
Joe was on here many months ago, and we talked about a book that he wrote, The Blue Mound Chronicles. And you told me that you had so much response from that interview on here and this book, and people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
Yes.
But you know, your personality carries it all. So we talked about the book. It's an interesting thing that you wrote. And then as he was leaving, he said, you know, I'm going to have gallbladder surgery on Good Friday. I got to have something to look forward to. I said, well, how about if we get you back here again after the gallbladder surgery? He said, yeah, that's good. I can look forward to that. So here you are back again.
Right.
And the surgery, how'd the surgery go?
Well, first of all, it was not gallbladder.
No.
It was the bladder.
The bladder.
The bladder. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing that's hooked to the kidney. Yeah.
So it was the bladder.
The bladder,
And they
yeah.
took the whole thing out?
Yeah.
And
so in the last 18 months, I've had 2 colonoscopies. I had 3 surgeries on the bladder to take out cancer. It kept coming back, so then I had 6 infusions of tuberculosis vaccine. That didn't get it, so I had 8 chemos, and they finally just decided to take the whole bladder out, cancer and all.
And they did it?
Yeah. And by the way, I had an extracted tooth in amongst all that, too.
Okay. But, my goodness, what you have been through.
I look back at that and said, oh, my God, that's horrible.
You look great.
Well, thank you.
You look great.
Yeah.
Now, so what do you... How do you credit this? If I would have gone through everything that you have gone through, I don't know if I'd be sitting there smiling and laughing like you are.
Well, it's very easy. I got my wife and my family and friends, and then I had this really good medical team at the University of Missouri, and I'll name them. Katie Murray and Catherine Munsey, and Mindy Charrington, and Ed Johnson, and Tracy Jones.
They all took good care of you.
Took very good care of me, very supportive.
Did you have them in stitches the whole time, laughing?
Yes. we talked about a full cup of Joe. By the way, I am redoing the full cup of Joe.
Oh, you are?
I'm updating it.
You're updating your book?
Yes.
How old are you, by the way?
102.
You're going to live to be 150, Joe Dillard. You got a line. But you know the thing. What you have faith, and that makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it? Yeah. You have faith, and you're a happy soul, and that's what keeps you going.
Thank you. Yeah.
Before we get off on the subject, you celebrated your wedding anniversary back in June, right?
That's right.
With this lovely lady that you've been married to how many years?
60 years.
60 years, and there, for the people watching it on television or on the internet, there's your wedding picture of 60 years ago with you and your lovely bride. What's her name?
Betty.
Betty. Okay.
And the kids used to love to look at that picture because my ears stuck out so far. They said, Dad, you look like a taxi cab coming down the street with both doors open.
You don't stop. You don't stop at all.
By the way, let me back up to the hospital a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was really interesting because we had tape before that surgery. And the doctor said...
you did the segment here before the surgery, right?
I was going through anesthesia, and the doctor said, all you'd talk about was your meeting with Bob Pepper.
Is that right?
And then she said, Joe, she said, you got to look for the light at the end of the tunnel. And I looked down there, and there was no light at all. It was your smiling face, and I said, I'm going to make it.
Now, see, Joe, I don't know if you're making this up or if you're telling me the truth.
Well, no, I wouldn't make that up, would I? Sure would.
All right. But the important thing is that you had the surgery, you got through the surgery, they got the cancer,
Yes.
and you're doing great.
Doing fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm amazed. I would only hope that you are an inspiration to people listening and watching today. The fact that you have gone through so much and you decided that you were going to beat this, and you did.
Yes.
And you did. And you're a living inspiration to all of us here. So what's your next project? You're redoing the Cup of Joe?
Yeah, redoing. I'm updating it. I had that was done during my first bout with cancer back in 2010.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of news stories since then. Didn't have enough for a second Cup of Joe, so I decided I'd just update the old Cup of Joe.
Okay.
And this will be a full Cup of Joe deluxe version with news stories.
So a full Cup of Joe deluxe version, news stories. When is this coming out?
Well, I hope to have it out within a couple months.
Okay. So that means that you will come back here again.
Oh, gosh, yes.
In a couple of months, and you'll read some of those stories from the new Cup of Joe. So how many new stories are going to be in there?
I think there's at least 20 or 30. Yeah.
20 or 30 news stories.
News stories, yes.
And the old ones will still be there, too.
They are, right.
So these news stories, where are they coming from?
Oh, from a variety of places. You want me to tell you one of them?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's called Homemade Confetti.
Okay.
And my wife likes to read the evening newspaper. And I was mowing the yard with a big old grasshopper lawnmower, 3 blades, 25-horse engine. I thought, well, I'll just go down there and get that newspaper for her. So I went roaring down to get the newspaper I spotted. I said, I'll at least get a point out of this. So I pulled up there, and being the lazy person I was, I didn't shut the motor off. And I got really close to him. And there was a bushel basket of newspaper.
So that was a confetti newspaper.
Homemade confetti. No points that night.
No, that's good. So that's a true story, though.
It's a true story. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
They're all
and
true.
you noticed, if you heard that boom on the air, that was as you hit the microphone as that newspaper was blowing up.
Right.
The newspaper was blowing up with the lawnmower.
The look on my face.
I can imagine.
Oh, my God.
Joe, you really are an inspiration to many, many people. How does your wife go day to day with all of your stories?
Eye rolls. I think she's finally got used. She just gave up.
All right. So if people want the Blue Mountain Chronicles, or if they want the Cup of Joe, where do they get it?
They get it from Joe Dillard. You just send a check to me for the Blue Mountain Chronicles. It's $18.95.
Oh, okay. So you're just doing business right out of your house.
That's right. Yeah.
Joe Dillard,
with this virus, you can't leave.
Right. I wish you the best of luck, and we'll look for you in a couple of months with the new Cup of Joe, the deluxe version. All right, Joe Dillard, thank you so much for coming by. If there is something you would like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. Simply drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu, and keep this guy in mind. He'll keep you going. All right? Bye-bye.